Hey, good morning, everyone. John Henry Soto here. It is 7 a.m. Hey, hello. Good morning, everyone. John Henry Soto here. Welcome to 7 a.m. It is 7 a.m. It is February 12th, 2021. And we had some sad news last night or yesterday that I heard about our friend, legendary musician Chick Corea, who I had the good fortune of meeting a few times and uh, speaking to, and um, just a wonderful, and giving human being of his knowledge and his care for others. Um, and it was just a very sad thing, you know, to see him, to see him go. At the same time, what he gave us was a tremendous amount of music. I mean, Chick is going to be remembered um, in the same sentences, in the same vein with Miles Davis and Coltrane and those guys. He played with Miles actually, and he's just going to be one of those guys that people listen to. He's an incredible body of work and just masterful musician, an incredible spiritual being who is definitely a somebody that we will miss new material coming from, but we can definitely relish and in the amazing body of work. Has like 20 Grammy awards. I mean, he's just an incredible powerhouse. So rest in peace. Safe travels, Chick Corea. Condolences to his family and his friends and all the musicians that he's played with and all the musicians that he's inspired, myself included. Just a wonderful spirit that that you know that graced us with his amazing music. So, um, all right. So I was going to read something from Chick just very quickly. At the end, I read it yesterday. Kind of, I was kind of broke down a little bit, so I thought maybe I'd not read it, but I feel okay. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to attempt to read this. Anyway, this was from his website. Um, you should check out his website, just chickcorea.com. And there is an announcement there and something that he wrote. And he wanted, I guess he knew uh, what was happening. And he wrote this to everyone. It says, I want to thank, all of those along my journey who have helped me, who have helped keep the music fires burning bright. It is my hope that those who have an inkling to play, write, perform, or otherwise do so. If not for yourself, then for the rest of us. It's not only that the world needs more artists, it's also just a lot of fun. And to my amazing musician friends who have been like family to me as long as I've known you, it has been a blessing and an honor learning from and playing with all of you. My mission has always been to bring the joy of creating anywhere I could and to have done so with all the artists that I admire so dearly. This has been the richness of my life. So that's from Chick Corea. So, all right. Well, thank you, Chick, for everything, and we'll see each other again at some point. All right, folks. So let's move on to our series that we're doing from the Way to Happiness book by L. Ron Hubbard. Um, Chick Corea was a Scientologist, and for I mean, probably for 50 years, I think, him and his wife. Um, and actually, if you go to his website, also he's got some great videos there of him playing, and his one of his final projects that he did was on there, which was fantastic. So you could check that out. Um, But anyway, I'm obviously people like Chicory have inspired me through my life and through my religion and through my just through my life, my music, my art. Very inspirational. So it's one of the reasons why I do these, what I'm doing right now. And whether people you know relate to this or follow it or respect it, it really doesn't matter. It's what's real to me because it's been part of my life for 26 years and will continue to be part of my life and my family's lives. And so that's why I'm doing this reading here. So we're up to number 19, and 19 is this one right here. uh, Try not to do things to others that you would not like them to do to you. Right? The golden rule, right? Do unto others, or don't do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. Um, so this is the golden rule, right? Which is this is a short one. It's only 2 pages. So I'll read this one, and then we'll discuss about it a little bit in terms of how we behave towards one another, right? All right. So here's number 19. Among many people in many lands for many ages, there have been versions of what is called the Golden Rule. The above is a wording of it that relates to harmful acts. Only a saint could go through life without ever harming another, but only a criminal hurts those around him without a second thought. Completely aside from feelings of guilt or shame or conscience, all of which can be real enough and bad enough, it also happens to be true that the harm one does to others can recoil on oneself. Not all harmful acts are reversible. One can commit an act against another which cannot be waved aside or forgotten. Murder is such an act. One can work out how severe violation of almost any precept in this book could become an irreversible harmful act against another. The ruin of another's life can wreck one's own. Society reacts. The prisons and the insane asylums are stuffed with people who harmed their fellows. But there are also other penalties, whether one is caught or not. Committing harmful acts against others, particularly when hidden, can cause one to severe changes in his attitude towards himself or towards others and himself, all of them unhappy ones. The unhappiness and joy of life depart. This version of the golden rule is also useful as a test. When one persuades someone to apply it, the person can attain a reality on what a harmful act is. It answers for one what harm is. The philosophic question concerning the argument wrongdoing, the argument of what is wrong is answered at once on a personal basis. Would you not like that to happen to you? No? Then it must be a harmful action, and from society's viewpoint, a wrong action. It can awaken social consciousness. It can then I'll give that again. It can then lead It can then let one work out what one should do and what one should not do. In a time when some feel no restraint from doing harmful acts, the survival potential of the individual sinks to a very low ebb. If you can persuade people to apply this, you will have given them a precept by which they can evaluate their own lives and, for some, opened the door to let them in rejoy the human race. The way to happiness is closed to those who do not restrain themselves from committing harmful acts. The harm is closed. Yeah, it's closed to those who do not restrain themselves from committing harmful acts. So that's number 19. I apologize for the reading. Sometimes this early morning I'm having a little bit of trouble reading, although I'm a pretty good reader, like teleprompters and stuff. But I'm still maybe if I get up at 6 a.m. and I get up at 6:30 and can get some coffee, throw some water on my face, put on some clothes, and come here. Since I'm home, but I think what I'll start doing, maybe getting up at 6, maybe waking up a little bit more, and being able to do that. So this is, a lot of people sometimes in today's world, they talk also about karma, right? People talk about, oh, it's karma, and I think that this is sort of like the golden rule. Sometimes, when you do bad things to others, bad things will happen to you, right? And that doesn't always ring true, right? Sometimes people get away with things and do things that you kind of like, man, how did they get away with that, man? They, especially sometimes we hear people like with a lot of money, right? That's like the people's viewpoint of what success is, right? Because people with a lot of money, and that seems to be like, hey, they're successful. They have money, and that's usually a not a sign of happiness, right? Yes, money does handle a lot of things, right? It relieves stress on certain things. The food is handled, shelter is handled, power, light, heat, all the basic necessities of life are handled, but that doesn't really bring inner peace. And so sometimes you'll find someone who's uh, poor or just doesn't have a lot, who's not very nice. Sometimes you find someone who's rich, who's not very nice. And I know both. I've known, not necessarily. I've met quite a few millionaires. I haven't, and I've met one billionaire. Very nice, all of them. From what I've saw, obviously I didn't spend that much time with them, but I didn't get any strange vibe. I'm usually pretty empathic when it comes to certain people. I read people very well fast. I think it's just something that I've had since I was a little boy. I could be in a room and I know where the energy is, where I should go and where I should stay away from. It's what kind of saved me from the South Bronx, from getting shot and or involved in things that I shouldn't be involved in. I just kind of knew when things just felt. That was a little bit more obvious back then. But as I got older, I did tend to almost figure out like what it is that I'm feeling and assess it fast enough to know that I should get away from there, or I can hang out, whatever. But so it was a pleasure for me to meet some of these people because you know they were doing really great work. Now I know people, politicians, and just business people in general who aren't like wealthy, multimillionaires, but have money and have their houses and have their careers. Some politicians that I've met that really are very you can sense that they're really only concerned about where they're standing, and not necessarily what they can offer to others. It's their position they're protecting, and that's one of the saddest things that you run into, especially a politician in particular, where that they're there, they were voted for a particular reason, right? They work for you, you don't work for them. They answer to their constituents, but yet they really feel like they have this shield, and they're like, if they don't like, and these are very small percentage of people that I've met, but I have met these people. If they don't like what you're saying, then they dismiss you, right? That's the new cancer culture, right? If they don't agree with it, you're canceled. Get out, right? It's no longer for some people. I think that's changing now because of all the attention that the cancer culture has gotten, and all the damage that it's done, right? It doesn't work. It just doesn't work when you cancel everyone because you don't like that narrative. It just doesn't work. So it's a harm against humanity, really, when you think about it, because you're not letting people communicate, and communication is the solvent to all. So if you don't allow someone to communicate and listen to them and be like, okay, I understand your viewpoint. I don't agree with it, but I understand, and you have the right to communicate that. That's what should be our our society. So moving into what we were just talking about, you know, um, this idea that the golden rule, You wouldn't like someone to cancel you, right? It doesn't matter what it is that you're, even if you're on that side of the aisle, whatever that side is, the ones that are controlling things and the ones that are squashing free thinking and comments and any kind of thing, anything that you want to communicate. If you're on that side, those people, the reason that they're not feeling the cancer culture is because they're part of this narrative that's being protected by many people, by many organizations and news medias. And so because of that, they don't feel it. They don't know what it's like to be canceled. They don't know what it's like to be uh, uh, blocked from communicating on either one of these platforms that are probably go away soon. I'm on 8 of them now. You know what I mean? So there'll always be another platform behind it. We're not committed to any one of these platforms because they're all eventually going to collapse, especially with the way that they're treating their people. Um, so when these go away, I use them all. I use them all. I put them on there. The one that cancels it. Goodbye. There's other ones. I'm on 8 of them here now, and I have 2 more that I actually um, stream on daily, and there's another 2 more that I'm actually auditioning for. So platforms and communication vehicles and places to that's going to be plenty of those. Um, but when you don't feel that, then it's hard for you to understand. It's hard to understand what it's like to be canceled if you haven't been canceled. So that's one of the acts that I think in recent times, recently with the young lady that was fired from the Disney show. That's been getting a tremendous amount of attention, right? I mean, there are people working at Disney that have really been, whoa, have done some crazy things. You can actually research that on your own, and you know, it's just one of those things where you kind of are shocked that this is going on, and it's just happening completely openly too. It's not even there. There's no one to answer to. You can't sue anybody, although maybe she can sue because she had a contract, and maybe it's an unfair firing. And she does have a legitimate case. So, but to that degree, when you're committing those harmful acts, that's the degree that you're going to get back. Possibility. There's a possibility. Right now the hashtag of cancel Disney Plus, I think cancel Disney Plus, I think is a hashtag that's now trending number one on Twitter, right? So, it happened with Netflix, but Netflix still survived, right? It happened with them, with Netflix when they were pushing the kiddie porn stuff, and they didn't seem to think anything wrong with it. And it was disgusting. I saw it, and we canceled it. We canceled it. We just thought you can't really go and support an organization that's harming people that severely. So we stopped. Now they did tank. Their stocks went down, and they had a lot of issues, but they survived. They're a big company, and they'll be around for a little bit longer. Probably not too long. If they, I think they'll eventually have to clean up. Just morally, would have to clean up. I think when society, when a person doesn't want to put ethics in on themselves, society, will put injustice on them, right? And that's what's going to happen to all these platforms, right? And again, I'm going into this area right now only for the simple fact that the golden rule, do not do to others what you wouldn't like them to do to you, is applies to all these things that I'm talking about. It's a very important conversation to have, and to be allowed to have it. That's the part that you're not allowed to have. So there's this whole other world of this media, this bubble where people get their information from this one thing, and when you step out of it and you really start researching what's really happening, you start, and really happening, I mean that because there are people on the ground who have documents and videos and audio and articles and court documents and all this stuff that you can actually visually see, which is protected from this particular bubble. Very, very fascinating that people live in this bubble thing, and they think that everyone that's outside of it is is wrong. But then you're like, but look, this is. Can you see what it says it right here? And you go, no, that's not true. I don't think so. So they're completely asleep, and that's why you talk about the woke, right? I mean, these people are the complete opposite of woke, right? But they call them, they think that they're woke, and it's but you can't get them to sit down and look at anything because they'll cancel you. So I don't like that being done to me, and I wouldn't do that to someone else. If somebody comes up with an opinion, let them have their views. But if they're mean about it, and of course, you don't have to communicate with anybody if you don't want to communicate. And I've done that. There are people that I just really feel like, you know what? Not only do we have different viewpoints, but we're also not providing any value to each other's lives. They're really you're taking joy from me, and I'm probably taking joy from you. We never talk. We never sat down and had a meal together. We've never had a meaningful conversation about anything that's really important to me. So why am I having to read your stuff, and why are you having to read my stuff, right? We just don't agree. So I'll get rid of them, and for the most part 99% of them don't even realize it, and I don't think they care, and which is totally fine because I don't either. So um but at the same time, when you do want to communicate, you should have the right to communicate in a free society. Again, these platforms, they own their platforms, right? They own the everything that they believe in. So it's not necessarily it's a publication. They put out what they want to put out, not necessarily uh not necessarily what you agree to, or what they just put out whatever they allow in their platforms, what that narrative that they are protecting in that bubble, right? And that's where they are. And if you go in there and you start communicating what your views are, you're going to be kicked out of the bubble and put into that side of conspiracy people, right? Which have been in the last year have proven that conspiracy people are right. Everybody's like conspiracy until they start seeing things, and then it becomes part of the communication, right? And that's what happens. I mean, everyone thought Noah was a conspiracy theorist until it started raining and didn't stop, right? But there you have it. So anyway, um, so that was number 19, right? No, that was number 18. That was number 19. I'm sorry. That was number 19. And now we're up to number 20, 21. We have two more to do. So that's Monday and Tuesday of next week. And number 20 is try to treat others as you would want them to treat you. So this one kind of applies a little bit to the golden rule, right? Oh, wait. Wait, is this what I just read? Oh, no, no. This is like another section of the golden rule, but it's a little bit different. So this is actually number 20 from, it's funny. I forgot that these two were kind of very similar. It's a short one, so I'll read this one next week. Actually, it's a little longer than I thought. Wow. It's a beautiful one, though. I love this one. All right, so we'll talk about this one, and I'll read some portions of it if it's too long. And this will be on Monday. We'll do this one, number 20 of the Way to Happiness Precepts. Again, if anybody is interested in this book, I have booklets, smaller booklets that have all the 21 precepts. You can carry it around. It's a great tool to have and to read while you're in a waiting room somewhere. And I will send it to you free of charge. All you have to do is just email me at johnhenrysoto@protonmail.com. And in the heading, just write the Way to Happiness booklet. And I get a lot of emails and stuff, so I want to make sure I can pin those out. And I will send one of those to you free of charge. And if you have any questions, obviously, I'm here to help with that as well. All right, folks. I want to thank you all for joining us. A little bit of more of a somber one for me with the passing of Chick Corea. Again, condolences to him and his family. But you know what? Just go out and listen to the music. Go on to chicoria.com and really just enjoy what he's given to us, and that incredible music and that incredible life and inspiration that he's given to us. Go out and listen to it. I was just listening to literally a few days ago, before I heard the news, to a Chinese Butterfly, an album he did with Steve Gadd. Just just brilliant. And I sent it to my cousin George, who the musician. He's a drummer and has met Steve Gadd and is a big Steve Gadd fan. So I sent it to him. I was like, "Hey, have you heard this one?" And we were like, "Oh man, this is incredible." And so we were just talking about him literally a few days ago. Um, but just go out and listen to the music. Listen to Return to Forever. Listen to the Electric Band. Just amazing music, and enjoy the life. All right, folks, thank you very much. I will see you on Monday morning at 7 a.m. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. Make today great and do the things that you love. Okay. All right, folks. Thank you. God bless. And as always, peace.